It's the Duffin Up Podcast. All right, Duff guys and Duff mamas, we have a very, very, very special guest on for you tonight because for the first time ever, Duffin Up is bringing the world of golf and the world of technology together into one. And boy, this product, if you're a PGA professional out there and you want to go ahead and start a coaching business, you're in coaching, you just want to have, more time on your hands and have just something do it for you. Not entirely, but, we're going to roll with that anyways. But if you want to help automate your business, boy, oh boy, do we have the app for you. We welcome on the founder of Istruzi, Jason Bilotti. Jason, how are we doing tonight, man?
We're doing phenomenal. Thank you for having me, fellas. You are a phenomenal hype man. Also, I might need to bottle up what you just got right there and
hashtag hype up the homies. You always got to hype up the homies. So that's what we do.
Yeah, it's phenomenal. Love it.
But Jason, first off, I know when we were talking before the show, I just want to know, a lot of times people, when they're naming their products around golf, they have names like Fairway Finder or Greenskeep or anything like that. I've never thought of Istruzi before in the golf world, but I need to know, how did we come up with the name Istruzi?
You set it up really well. The first intention I ever had was to name it completely opposite of what all the typical golf related products and services are named after. So yes, you nailed that part. The deeper, there's basically two additional layers to this. I have an attorney who specializes in small business creation and forming businesses from 0 to 1. And the single piece of advice that he gave me early, which at the time I was like, thanks, that's not very helpful, but I came to understand it as I went through the process. He goes, look, you have to figure out a name that is not close to anything currently used in the public domain in the United States of America. And when I first heard that, I was like, all right, well, so what does that leave me? Nothing. And I said that back to him and he kind of joked with me. He's like, well, maybe kind of, but you can also look at other languages. So I was like, oh, well, golf is the origins are from the UK-ish, Scotland, and all that good stuff. I looked at Gaelic. I tried to figure out words in the Gaelic language. And if you've ever tried to say anything in Gaelic, it's absolutely impossible. So that didn't work.
Brutal language to try and say. Sorry, all of our Irish and Scottish.
So tough. Yeah, so tough. So then I reverted to what I know probably better than anything else, which is Italian, because I'm of Italian descent, and my fiance and I have been to Italy a couple times already, and we love it. So I was just playing with the Google Translate app, and I threw the word instruction in, and that translates to istruzione in Italian. So my shorthand version of this is Istruzi is shorthand for instruction in Italian.
So Brendan clearly didn't read the FAQs on the Istruzi website. It's frequently asked question number 1.
I go in blind to these, Bry guy. I'm going in blind. Way to blow my cover. Why would you blow my cover like that? Oh, maybe I wanted him. Maybe I wanted him to say no. You brought now. You get no. This is no longer the interview.
That's how a good podcast host is. You ask questions that they already know the answer to, and promote the product.
Yeah. No, thank you, Brian.
It's just funny. It's just funny. Number 1 says, "What's it up with the name?" It's exactly the origin, which is too funny. But just going off of that too, Jason, is I really appreciate that you wanted your company name to be different than other company names in the US, where golf courses need to take a page out of that book, because we were saying on another podcast, there's 4 Meadowbrooks golf courses near us, within driving distance, within an hour from each other. And it's that can make a difference of if you're hey, we're playing Meadowbrook today, and you don't say which one, you could easily end up either in southern Rhode Island or northern Massachusetts. where's the creativity here? It's crazy.
And then to fuck with you, they put a brook meadow in there too.
Yeah,
Like just to mess with us, just to mess with us.
because it's so different. Yeah, exactly. So I appreciate it. Istruzi, and it's better. It's a little better,
Istruzi.
easier.
Yeah,
easier
now
to-
it makes way more sense now. I'm thinking like a Japanese car company, like like something like that would makes way more sense. You put the Italian hands in there, boom. I love it.
Exactly.
I want to know what it is in Gaelic now.
Oh my God. Jason, so tell us a little bit about it. Give us an instruction. Like we've never even looked at the website before or anything like that. We'll start off with how it started.
Which we did, Brian. Which we did. We were setting up the question.
FAQs, man. They're questions frequently asked.
Yeah, that's a great place to start. The story, either good or bad, starts with COVID. I tend to look at this as a positive. So in COVID, we all have very few options to get out of the house. Golf, if you played it or if you didn't, ended up being the release for millions of people. And the fun stat about that is in COVID, golf participation rate grew for the first time in over a decade. So COVID and its expansion of golf participation rates also birthed the saying, shrink the game instead of grow the game, because now there's too many people playing it because you can't get tee times. So I was one of the people that needed to get outside, and I used golf as my mechanism to get outside and get some fresh air and do it in a healthy, safe way. And I committed to myself. I said, okay, if I'm going to be playing more golf now than I have because I have time and I literally have to get outside. Like everyone's always told me, if you're going to get lessons, you need to be able to practice often in between the lessons for them to be worth the money and the time, so it sticks. So I was a consumer of getting lessons in COVID. So I got lessons in COVID. Like we achieved the goals we wanted to over a package of 6. It was everything was great, but as a consumer, I realized that I realized a couple things. Golf coaches are solopreneurs. The vast majority of them have LLCs, and they are their own business. They are their own businesses and their own brands. And when you're in that scenario, you're doing everything. Which, when you look at that from a consumer perspective, and you don't know that, our expectations of digital consumers today are pretty high. I always use the example that like people expect to be able to pay their mortgage online, buy stocks in Japan, buy a car through their phone, and order Greek food from their favorite spot down the road, all within 5 minutes of each other. Like the level of access and digital ease has never been higher. And nothing against golf coaches, they'll self-admit this, and they do to me all the time. Their businesses aren't there. Their businesses, like the way I describe it is, most golf coaches have a like an internet version of a billboard on the side of the street. It tells you some stuff about them and why they're really good at what they do, but there's very little call to action. There's no way to capture someone who's ready to spend money, like has a purchasing intent. And ultimately, that's like what Istruzi is. It's a business management platform to help coaches modernize their business in 5 minutes, instead of what probably currently takes a couple months to hire a developer, to hire a digital creative person. And it also costs a fraction of the money, because we're doing it on a platform at scale, instead of them spending a couple thousand, even maybe $10,000 to build a one-off website to do all the for them. So we handle all that. We handle all like the booking through long-term player relationship management and communication.
Boom. That's amazing. All right. I like it. So you're basically centralizing where people can go to not only get recommendations and things like that correct me if I'm wrong, of different instructors and things like that, but also gives you the access for those instructors to book and basically like make tee times with a certain instructor. Am I getting that kind of correctly?
Yeah, you're really close. So the biggest difference, which is key to our whole ethos of the business, is that Istruzi is not a platform for players to window shop coaches.
Okay.
The reason for that is twofold. Istruzi is a business management platform to help golf coaches run more effective and efficient businesses while protecting the expertise that they've spent 20, 30, 40 years building. And the example I use to kind of show some visuals to this is Uber and Lyft are marketplaces. But the people who service the demand, the drivers, are the ones that are actually getting squeezed the most, even though they're the most valuable part of the platform. If there weren't drivers, none of us could get a ride, and Uber and Lyft wouldn't be in business. So put in this example, the coach is the driver. The coach is sufficing the demand. The coach is the reason that players are there. The coach has decades worth of experience that took them 30 years to build. And marketplaces allow players to drive down the value of coaches and what they do and how they do it in a way that doesn't protect the coach's business at all. It's a race to the bottom, and marketplaces are commoditizing coaching expertise more than ever before because of platforms that are taking advantage of that.
Okay. Well, that makes total sense. So I like it. You're speaking for the person that has the most value in all of this whole process. That's a very clear example about Uber and Lyft. Speaking as someone who has zero business experience and telling me pretending like I am 5 years old, that was way more helpful than that. So I appreciate that.
Well, that's really good feedback. Thank you.
That's fantastic. Thank you very much, Jason.
Yeah, I mean, I think part of it too is the fact that you can integrate and obviously working from your side, those integrations as someone who works in the IT world, that's one of the hardest parts of it, being able to seamlessly integrate into different into a lot of different applications that you use. So being able to use this, sync up your Gmail account, sync up your Gmail onto it, sync up that calendar, being able to then push out those notices and, have it where it's like, okay, like if you're going to work with me, like I'm going to push like a 30-minute range test to you, to like my person, just to go hit balls, send videos back. And the fact that you can do all that within the app, just it seems like a great place for exactly what you said, either a PGA professional, a coach, anything like that, who's working with multiple different people at a time. And even, even smaller people, even smaller groups too. I know you guys are focused more on, the 15 plus lessons a week, 15 plus hours a week in lessons, everything like that. But being able to kind of have, both that enterprise side as well as with the solopreneur side, which what you said earlier is something that we don't really see a lot in other areas.
That's a word I learned today. Thank you very much.
Solopreneur. I love it. I love it. It's even better.
It's a good one.
Yeah, I love it.
And the interesting part has been the player experience has been seamless. Like the vast majority, like close to 90% 95% of the coaches and their players have had very positive experiences on the platform. So, and that was genuinely a concern of coaches. Like they're concerned about what their players will think of the platform, because that is that trickles down to them and their brand. Like how does that look on the coach, kind of thing. And the good news is that the player side of things has been super easy, because as you just referenced, players can take a video of themselves on the range or a specific swing on a course. They upload it into a session. The coach gets notified, and the coach can take that video straight from the session right into our video analysis tool in the platform, do an analysis over it, and save it right back in the session. And all of it's right there. It's all very, very easy to find. It's organized, and it helps end up making player recall and all that good stuff a little bit quicker, because it's just simple and easy to consume.
It's brilliant because nowadays everything, like people can go to therapists online. Everything is online now. And for you to take this and say, let's just make golf and take golf and put it online. Let's get the instruction online, to make that platform, to make it possible. Love it. Great idea. COVID, another positive thing to come out of COVID, like you said. Perfect. I love it.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, look, you always have to be careful with COVID because lots of bad stuff happened. We
Sure,
were all
sure.
impacted in many ways. I tend to be a glass is far more half full than it is close to empty. So this was a big positive that sure came out of it.
Very true. Very true.
Sorry about that, guys. I was muted. Man, that's the first time that's happened in a while, actually. I was asking a question and I could tell no one could hear me. But yeah, so one of the things I definitely wanted to talk about too is this embedded swing analysis tool. So I know you mentioned it earlier, you just mentioned it too. How did you come up with the idea of being able to have that? Because a lot of times, we see it with either other apps, or most of the time it's literally just, hey, here's my swing video, and then the coach is like sending another video back and being like, hey, this is what you need to do instead, blah 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 blah. How are you able to kind of create this swing analysis tool within the app, and how have you, how what is the positives that have been brought from that?
Yeah. So the reason that we wanted to put I guess we'll kind of start from the beginning. The whole goal here is to help smooth out the operations and the wasted low value administrative time coaches spend doing a ton of things in their day-to-day. Part of that is removing the need to have multiple services, multiple apps to do something. So we always knew a swing analysis tool was necessary. And putting it in the platform helps to streamline the whole workflow of like player sends video and everything that happens in between that to coach sends video response. There's a lot of steps. There's a lot of interaction that happens in there. Being able to do that in one platform, it genuinely saves, we've found between, like, because the way the coaches do this is they tend to do all their video recaps at the end of the night. So if they've had 6 or 7 lessons, they're going to do, maybe that not all players need a video recap. So maybe they're doing 5 lesson recaps or 4 lesson recaps at the end of the night after dinner. Kids have gone to sleep or whatever, and we've found that it takes them half the time when they do it in our platform than it usually does. And then the other important part here is that the example you just gave, coaches can typically send videos in an email, or they send videos via text message, or they send via some other platform. Coaches have no way of knowing if those videos were watched. Our platform tells the coach when the player has viewed the video. And we've also seen that data shows that between 71 and about 75% of every video that a coach sends to a player is viewed inside the platform. When I qualitatively did research on this with coaches told me that they believe only 25 to 40% of the videos that they send to their players get watched.
Wow. So at minimum, you're saying
shown
about
a huge increase of it.
Massive, almost basically 100% at minimum 100% increase, and maximum close to 200. That's insane.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. And it all comes back to, like, we save time, but we're also increasing value received. Like, we're enabling coaches to deliver and create value sooner and faster because players are consuming their content.
Gotcha. No, that makes great sense. Now, one of the things I definitely, because one of the areas you always like to hear too is when there's feedback, whether it's positive, negative, neutral, anything like that. Have you guys been getting feedback where it's like, hey, I really like this this part of the app? And then has there been feedback where it's like, I don't, I know you mentioned before that there was an I won't say unease, but like there were some areas where coaches were a little nervous about starting to use the app and everything like that. Has there been any feedback where you're like, I really like this part, I maybe not like this as much, or anything along those lines?
Yeah, so let's start with some of the constructive feedback. Coaches who haven't continued to use the platform, their simple answers have been that they already have a scheduling system, which it shows me that they didn't get far enough into the platform to realize that Istruzi is not just scheduling.
Mm-hmm.
It's the player communication, it's the player content and video analysis, sharing, and it's all this long-term player management stuff. And or like the coach says, well, like my current system is good enough, which could be a range of like I'm using paper calendars or I'm using something in Google or whatever. And there's also a surprising a lot, like a fair amount of coaches who are in private clubs, and those private clubs dictate that they can't give any lessons to outside non-members, or they dictate that the outside lessons that they can give to members are like 2 or 3 hours a week, which at that point means that Istruzi wouldn't really be valuable to them, which is fair. It's fine. We get it. Some of the really positive feedback we've gotten has been that every coach has their own coach link. It's their unique booking link.
Mm-hmm.
We found that when coaches add that to their website or their Instagram profile, it captures 37% net new bookings, aka net new revenue that they weren't getting before.
Wow.
And this again goes back to like modernizing in a matter of minutes instead of hours. So previously, coaches would have to pay someone on Fiverr or something like that to build them a brand new website, and it would cost them a couple $1,000s. With Istruzi, they literally copy and paste and put it on their website, and they're capturing 37% new revenue, and they're done. It's been a pretty eye-opening adjustment to their business process.
That's pretty great. It's great that you have those facts lined up and ready to go for anyone who says, why should I go with you guys? Just right off the bat, 37% more net views, I think is what you said. And I mean, I'm no business expert, but that seems like a very good percentage.
Yeah, I would say 37% increase.
Yeah.
I would say that's pretty good.
Right off the bat.
It's doable. Yeah. Well, and the interesting part about this, like that realization spurred the next piece of feedback, which was I'm kind of like I love like this business acquisition measurement stuff. So like I got stuck on this idea that at one point I had a couple coaches tell me that I asked them the question, what do you value more? Do you value a new player into your portfolio more, or do you value keeping a current or past player and like getting them to come back again? And I have a very clear answer on this, but I actually got a couple coaches that said, oh, I value new players more, which was the opposite of what I know and of what I've learned and what I've researched is that it's 5 times more expensive to acquire a new customer than it is to keep a current customer and rebook them. So this inspired some other feedback where I threw the idea. It's like, okay, well, like if coaches have 200 to 300 players they see in a 12-month period of time, what if we just created like an automatic follow-up feature for them that based off of a couple of different criteria, based off the player and like when they saw their coach last, blah, 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 would automatically send them a chat message to create an open dialogue, and essentially turn over a coach's book of business so that they didn't have to worry about sales. Like it becomes this automatic lead funnel, hypothetically, that a coach never has to worry about acquiring a new customer ever again, because they're taking care of their current customers. And when you take care of your current customers, those current customers give you referrals, which is the next thing we're going to build for our coaches. Again, this all funnels back to like business management, business operations, and this is just stuff that's not being addressed in the market right now.
I was about to say you get those automatic updates ready for April 1st of every single year up here in the Northeast. Like those coaches are about to get like immediate dollars because everyone's as Tim says, we get a little horned up for golf up here in New England right around April 1st. We start getting real ready to go. So we've been cooped up a little too long. So I mean I think that's a fantastic piece of it too, where you kind of have those new updates and like what you said, building it out for the next part too. It just seems like it's a really, really good and seamless transition, kind of going from, maybe people who are doing it full time, or not full time, but maybe, individuals who are, say, down in Florida that have the 12 months a year versus coaches who are up in the Northeast where it's like, okay, we have like this limited time period, with indoor, it's a little bit different now, but let's really kind of get back going on this side.
I honestly think it's a perfect thing for us New Englanders in the winter, because you just send a video of you hitting in a garage up against the net, and boom. I mean, at least you get to get some swings in and get some feedback on that. I mean, yeah, we can't do the real thing, but at least you're being productive and constructive and working on the golf game during the season when we normally can't. So I like it. I like it. Might become the cha-ching may come before April 1st there, Jason.
I like it. Yeah, you guys might be onto something. Timing wise, that's phenomenal.
I just like in my simple brain and trying to relate it to kind of my everyday, well, not my everyday, but like a lot my normal life is like with the pandemic, like telehealth and like virtual doctors like appointments became such a big thing. And obviously because they didn't want people coming in, they would rather do that. And so the hardest thing, I always say, like the hardest thing about like going to a doctor's appointment is just finding the time to get there or go there. And so like even more like related to this is like just the hardest thing about a golf lesson or learning golf or going to see a golf coach is getting there or finding someone locally or in that sense. So it's like having that layer of not needing to travel or do find the time. It's so much convenient for this evolving society, I guess, in that sense.
100%, because we could be in Rhode Island and we're getting instruction on the same level as someone like Butch Harmon, who lives in California or Florida, wherever, just throwing out a name that
one of the two. That's where they all are. No,
not from some guy named Smitty down in Dorchester or something.
I would love that. Oh my God, that'd be amazing.
Oh, that's phenomenal. That's phenomenal. Jason, I'm curious. How's your game? Have you used the app yourself? Can you speak to has it helped your game out at all?
Yeah. So those are both questions. The answer is yes. I've used the app plenty, and I absolutely have a coach. I definitely fall in the camp of like you better live what you preach kind of thing. And that's not that hard when you become obsessed with the game of golf, as we probably all are. So it's been fun. It's been really good. It's been a great way to, let me put it this way. There was actually a point where I was getting too much instruction and I couldn't hit a golf ball to save my life. There was just way too many things going on up here.
That's me with YouTube videos. It's the same thing. I got all these YouTube videos going on in my head.
Yeah, dude, it was information overload, and I was struggling. Like I got to a point where like I play pretty consistently with some people down here in Charleston every Tuesday, and one of the times it was just kind of really getting to me, and my buddy said to me, he goes, "Dude, I'm out here to have fun. Like I can tell you're not having fun right now." But like you got to get your shit figured out. It's basically what he said. Like or like don't continue to come back, because like this isn't fun.
You're hurting morale right now.
Seriously.
Yeah.
That's exactly. Yes, that was it. Which was really eye opening. Like I was like, all right, I need to take a step back. Like I'm not getting paid for this stuff. I love this because I enjoy being outside. I like the sun, the fresh air, being out with my boys. Like, I enjoy that it's a game that I'll never perfect, but it's a game that I'll constantly have a chance to get better at. There's just like I needed to get back to why I enjoyed it, so it was a really good refresher, like a really good like kind of slap in the face to reset. Um, but it's been really, yeah, the game's good. I'm at like a 10.9 handicap at the moment, so it's come down pretty solidly over the last couple of years.
It's refreshing to hear another fellow double digit handicap here.
You can't trust the single digit ones. You can't trust them. When Tim got down to like 9.7 last year, we almost kicked him out of the group chat.
Yeah, it's like trusting you can't trust a skinny chef kind of thing. Yeah, exactly. But no, I totally.
Well, maybe this is a fun debate. I've been told that you actually want to stay right in a double digit. Like, getting to single digits becomes like it's a disadvantage to you as the single digit player. That you actually want to stay in the doubles because you're more likely to be getting strokes than giving strokes away. So there's a little bit of like gamemanship here potentially.
Well, the biggest thing is too.
That's why I haven't gotten that good. I don't want to get too good.
I feel like the worst.
Maybe this app isn't for me.
Oh man, I feel like the worst handicap to have is like between a 3 and a 5, because like you're really, really good at golf, but you're just not there. You know what? Like, you're just not like. The guys who are the best at your country club are usually like +1s or straight zeros. So like, you're not that guy, but at the same time you want to be that guy. So you're going out and you're just stressing all the time, and you're not. And exactly what you said before, like maybe you're not having fun out there because you're trying to get that low. Whereas like me at an 11, like I'm good. Like I know what I am and I'm happy with it.
Yeah, it's terrible.
There's a lot to be said. That's good.
3 and 5 handicap. I'm sure.
I'm telling you, dude. They are the most miserable people out on the golf course.
Start winning tournaments.
Guaranteed.
You start getting sponsors. I would hate that.
You're nowhere near getting a sponsor at a 3 handicap. You're nowhere near it. You got to be. Oh, get out of here.
Never going in the woods to find your ball.
It's called exercise.
Yeah, I love
Some
nature.
of us need it.
Love nature. I love poison ivy, mud. I love it all.
Critters. You get to say hi to the wildlife. It's wonderful.
Right. You're right. It is an outdoor. Jason did say he likes the outdoors.
I do.
But what I always say is, just kind of going back to it, is the consistency in having the same like coach or professional teaching you, I personally feel is imperative, just because you can go to 3 different swing coaches or golf coaches, and they're all going to try to change your swing to how they think is the perfect swing. And like, so it's like staying with that same person, and whether they're doing it just because they want to be able, like, feel like they're teaching you something new, but they truly believe that they're doing it wrong. It's that one that adds to your thought process of being like, should I be hinging my hands this way or that way? Because coach A said this and coach B said this other thing. And yeah, I mean, like, I think that's imperative and important to like, if you find a good one, stick with it. Just like a barber.
Absolutely.
If you find a good barber, stick with him.
Absolutely. Yeah. So some more data to drive home your point. So I think it's Operation 36 that says for a player to break, I think it was 90, to break 90, they will have to play 55 9-hole rounds. And if you then equate that over an assumption of how many rounds that player can play in a year, that probably means that the player is going to need to play golf for over 2.5 years in order to break 90. So when there's 2 things that I always find really interesting about this stat. One, people don't take lessons and think they can break 90. Real funny. That's a joke. Like, You need to get lessons. The game is hard enough. 2, people think they get 1 lesson and they're fixed and they're done. It's like, no, that is clearly not the case either. Like, you need to get a package, you need to get multiple, you need to go to the same guy or gal, and you need to let them work on you, because it's like going to the gym. You don't just become Arnold Schwarzenegger after one workout. Like, great coaches break you down into multiple different portions of your swing, and they focus on one portion at a time, and one portion may need to be worked on over multiple lessons before they're willing to move you to the next portion. So like there could be 8 different portions of your swing that they want to work on over a total amount of time. You need to give them time to do that, to like work their art and work their craft to get you there. It just takes time. People need to have patience, but that's the hard part. It really is what it comes down to.
I was about to say the hardest part of golf is by far and away the patience.
Yeah,
as
without a doubt.
Timmy and Brian know, as a member of Team Speed and playing fast, I'm not one of those human beings, but you know, it happens.
Wait, you mean you're a slow golfer?
Oh
maybe
no,
this might
I
be a
am
problem.
the fastest golfer known to me.
Oh, good,
I play
okay.
too fast.
Okay, let me
Think
clarify.
of the
Patience and
fastest
playing
golfer
fast.
you know, and it's Brendan's worse than that, or faster than that.
Whoa, worse? Yeah,
That's
faster. We won't say worse because you know it's a blessing and a curse. But
It's a curse.
That's amazing. Look, we need more of you. Like, I was playing golf with some random guy that, like, a couple months ago. Really nice guy, super genuinely good dude. Got to know him over 4 hours, which you typically do over golf. Like, nothing bad to say about him, except he was the slowest golfer I have ever played with in my entire life. And I was like, him playing slow defeats how nice he was. Like, I never want to see that guy ever again because he played so slow.
And you never want to be that guy. It's like when you know,
No.
there's been guys on there like Brian Harmon's like, I wish, you know, he was doing interviews and he was like, I wish I could play fast again. But he was like, but I just won the British Open, so I'm gonna go with this. But
Stick
he
with
was
it.
like,
Yeah.
He's like, I'm gonna try and play faster again sooner or later. And I'm like, we know, Brian. We know.
And the other guys in his group were in the soaking, pouring rain, and they're like, "Dude, hurry it up!"
Nothing will ever beat Cantlay though. Just Victor Hovland literally walking down the fairway as Cantlay was still swinging because he was playing so slow.
He was probably high too. His eyes are half closed all the time. I love it.
He's such a happy dude.
He's such a happy dude. I want to be him when I grow up because it's just he's loving.
I agree.
Loving everything. But I saw like a quick like sound bite of him, just talking about how like he just like basically watches like 3 movies a day and just like eats all day and watch 3 movies a day, and he's like, well, that's what you get for living in Oklahoma for 4 years, kind of thing, when he was at school. And, he's like, that's all you can do in Oklahoma. It's just too funny.
Yeah, to stay out of trouble.
But yeah, right. Exactly. Yeah. But 3 movies a day, that's crazy. But maybe that's why he's so happy, because he's seen it all.
Oh, that's funny.
I consider myself a decently not slow golfer, and but you know what I did notice today? I played today with 3 random people, and we were playing behind a league, so obviously we know it's going to be slow. And we know it's going to be slow. They warned us, like, yeah, it's going to be slow. But these 3 people just couldn't get off the fact that it was playing slow. We're like, we know it's going to be like, let's just enjoy the nice day. So obviously we're going to get irked about slow play, but find something else to talk about in a beautiful round of golf. You know what I mean? But anyway, it was something I picked up today.
The same people, it's so hot. It's so cold. It's like, yeah, we understand. We address that the first 3 holes. Let's move on here.
Jason.
Yeah, I always like to see like when you're playing with somebody new, like I tend to like not try to open the conversation because I always am curious what someone's gonna open with.
100%, Jason. 100%. Sit back
and
and
it's always weather.
Yeah.
I for the 1 out of 10 that doesn't open with weather, I'm like, love you. This is gonna be good.
Yes, yeah. Oh, agreed.
Yeah, I definitely fall into the I'm gonna talk about the weather because it's just like it's a beautiful day for golf. I'm sorry. What do you want me to say? It's not a beautiful day for golf. I'm gonna say it.
I'm usually opening up. I usually say, "Did you see where that went?" After I hit my tee shot.
It's also true. Also true.
How
You
far
got
in
an eye
did
on
it
this
go?
for me?
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I need eyes because this ain't going straight. But
I'm guilty of it. I open up with, I always talk, I say, don't say it, don't say it. And then I'm like, so where are you from?
but
Everything.
I was gonna say I prefer that, like what, like that kind of small talk to like, oh, so like what do you do? And like it depends on who I'm talking to. Like if it's a random guy, like what do you do? Then like going into it, I'm like, bro, I'm here to escape what I do. Like I'm like, yeah, I don't want to talk about real life stuff. It's like it's
Yeah.
pretty funny.
Unless you run a golfing app, then I'm curious.
Yeah,
So
right. Yeah, they'll be like, come on our pod. Here's a koozie.
Yeah, how quickly can we talk about it?
Yeah, like and
Yeah. Right. Can we sign up right now? I would love some instructions.
Jason's probably like, bro, I'm here to escape what I'm trying to do. Stop talking about this.
Yeah, I mean, every visit to a golf course becomes research in some way. Like I'm always trying to figure out who's the pro and like, am I like when you're going to the pro shop, like you're never too sure who you're talking to. Like it could be a pro. You never know. A pro could always be behind the counter.
True.
So it's like there's always a little bit of me that's like trying to figure out like if I'm talking to somebody I should like strike up a conversation with or not.
Jason, you have a absolute excuse to go golf because it's like, well, I'm just networking for work. You know, honey, I'm just going,
Yes.
I gotta go network for work. I gotta go to work. I'm gonna go play some golf. Like, can we talk about the greatest escape or excuse to go golf right there? Jason, you figured it out. You figured it out.
Hey, I hope I'm just a guy just trying to do a thing. Maybe it'll work.
This whole thing is just selfish for Jason. He's just like, I just want to find a way to like be out there the whole time, make my life easier.
He's found the secret.
My
He's
friends are
found the
kicking me out of the
secret.
foursome. I'm too serious. I gotta lighten up. I gotta go in the industry. All that. But when you go like, so like when you go to a golf course, like a new golf course that you like, what's like kind of like your thought process? Do you like immediately or like, am I going to like try to propose and pitch my app to the instructor? And like, what's like success rate? How do you feel about like how does it go, I guess?
Yeah. So I have found that people like people who are going to play golf and they're true golf nuts. Like I've learned that like they'll like look at the course flyovers or they'll look at the pictures of the hole if they haven't played it yet. My version of that is checking the website and seeing if they have coaches listed on the website. And then I always like scroll the website to see who the website was built by. You usually find it all the way at the bottom. It'll say like built by brand name or powered by brand name. And that usually tells me if the operations staff at the site has a tool that is or could support these golf coaches. Because I've learned enough about like the other options that are out there to know whether or not if they're currently using something or not. So that gives me enough information to be able to go into any conversation and say, oh, like Mr. or Mrs. Head Pro, like I don't see that you have a booking link on your website, or I don't see that you've got some sort of like player communication or player organization system. Like, would you be interested? Blah blah blah, that kind of thing.
I like it because now with the online booking tee times, it makes it that much easier to go into the website, click online booking of tee times, and then if you could just go online and book instruction videos, like, oh, I got. You can see different times that they're available, not having to call and be like, hey, whatever, can we get something set up, and having to hear a sales pitch from the instructor, which is fine. I mean, that's what you're calling for a reason. But just the ease and comfortability of just going on booking Tuesday at 10 o'clock when you're ready to go. I like that. That's a good point, Jason. I like that.
And half the time instructors don't have their phone on them. So you can't reach them till the end of the day.
True.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, these coaches are in probably 6 to 7 hours of sessions a day, and those sessions are predicated on them being present and like looking people in the eye and giving them a high quality service. Like if a coach was to pull out their phone in the middle of one of those sessions and start texting or doing something else, you'd be staring at them and thinking to yourself, what is this person doing? Like I'm paying for your time. Like
$75 an hour, if I, like something like that. And this guy's
right,
talking to some guy on the phone. Yeah, exactly.
right. So it's this interesting scenario that these coaches find themselves in, that their expertise is paid by the hour, so they are incentivized to try to book as many hours of their day as they can, but players expect more from them now, even when they're not in a session with them. So there's this like convergence of they want to expand their days so they can book more hours, but then that means that they have less time on the front part of their day and less time on the back part of their day to do anything like live an actual life. So like there's just all of this request of their time and attention, that coaches are struggling genuinely to find ways to prioritize and like free up time while also still delivering a high quality service.
That's brilliant. That's brilliant.
I like it. I like it a lot. So, Jason, you've built the platform. You are, obviously have a lot of these great parts of it, and it fits seamlessly into other applications as well. What is the future? What are you looking for to expand within the platform, or what do you think is the next big, thing that Istruzi is going to do for the golf coaching industry?
Istruzi.
Got to say it correctly.
Istruzi. Yeah. Well, so we covered one, like the automated outreach. The second is just going to be more options on the type of sessions that coaches can offer their players. So groups, clinics, subscription style stuff, but some other stuff like outside the platform that I'm focusing on now is that I've come to learn the shift that coaches need to make to like modernizing the way they do what they do, to get away from just delivering 60-minute sessions. There needs to be a lot of education and support and like show me how types engagements and collaboration. So I'm working on a couple partnerships with well-respected coaches who have been in the business and have now created their own businesses to help advise coaches on how to adjust their business and change it for the better of the player and for them as the business operators. So the strategy there is to go into these learning scenarios, these learning moments for these coaches and these growth moments, and Istruzi becomes an option for them to do and deliver this in reality, and it becomes the tool of choice in those kind of situations. So we're kind of going to the groups that are looking to change the way they're doing their business today, and Istruzi becomes the vehicle to do it.
I like it. I like it a lot. I think like what exactly, kind of there, but I feel like with everything, the golfing industry is definitely evolving and technology is playing more and more of a role with it. So being able to have these online applications that can help your game is huge going forward.
One more thing I mean, add to that accessibility of online booking that you're offering for these different clubs, their instructors of these different clubs. I mean, it takes away. You tell me when you call a club, and you're like, "Hey, last minute, I know. What are the odds you got something for me? A little tea time." When they don't have online booking, and same as goes with an instructor. You go online, you go online, you see that they have these slots available tomorrow or in a week or whatever, or they don't have anything for months because they're just swamped. But when you call an instructor, I'm going to say, hey, my name's Tim. I'd like to get an instruction, as soon as possible with you. My game's in shambles. And they're like, buddy, you're not going to get anything with 3 months. Go eat bricks or something like that. There's like that. It takes out that slight vulnerability that a person has when they make that personal phone call. And I'm not saying that it happens anywhere, but that you're like, all right, I should look elsewhere rather than get the shaft from someone who's booked throughout the month of August. You know what I mean? So I like where you're going with that, Jason. Thanks for taking away the vulnerability.
Oh, hey, I mean, at the end of the day, like everyone's got a reason why they prefer to do it a different way. And like people we're now used to being able to do things like this from our phone. It makes it simpler.
Beautiful. Brennan, can I ask him the questions?
You sure can. I was about to say. So, Jason, what we do right now is Tim's got about 2 to 3 rapid fire questions that we do. We say rapid fire. They are never rapid fire. But we do have a couple quick golf related questions that we do that we always ask to close out an interview. Yeah. But Timbo,
love it.
And boy, does Timmy paint these beautiful pictures.
They're not rapid fire, but they're fire. Don't worry about that.
The first question, I guess, could be rapid fire, Brendan, if the answer is no.
True.
All right, Jason, you'll see what we mean. Right off the bat, real quick, hopefully not rapid fire. Do you have any hole-in-ones?
Sadly, no.
Rapid fire.
Rapid fire. Welcome to the club. Welcome to the club. We're all a bunch of schmucks on this pod. It's okay.
We should have that on our website of like the list of non-hole-in-one guests and hole-in-one guests. And
be a good one. Be a good
wall of shame.
Yeah, love the wall.
It's motivation. It's just motivation. Get your name on the other list.
Yeah.
Jason, you are stranded on an island somewhere out in the middle of the ocean. You're stranded on that island for a year. No one's coming to pick you up. There's no hope for someone to come pick you up in the next year. You have unlimited golf balls on this island. Strange thing, I know. Unlimited golf balls. Whatever golf ball you play, they never end. They never end. But you can only bring to this stranded island, you can only bring one club. What club are you bringing?
Oh, man. I mean, is there animals? Do I need to like figure out how to feed myself too, or is it just golf balls?
We don't gotta worry. We don't gotta worry about that side. We don't gotta worry about it. Just concentrate on the golf.
Unlimited.
I'm trying to think about like I need to know like is my golf club also need to be a weapon to kill my food? So
we haven't gone down this route before.
Well, this is new. This is new.
Jason's
really nervous this is going to happen to him.
Hey, you got to think 3 or 4 steps.
Yeah, I like it. It's like a doomsday prepper. Yeah.
Exactly. Right. All right. So here's where I'm at. I'm going to assume that like this is Lord of the Flies, except I'm the only fly on the island, and I got to figure out how to survive. So like a graphite shaft won't work. That thing's going to break the second I hit like some animal over the head with it. Can't bring a driver. Can't bring a wood. No hybrid. So it's got to be an iron or a putter. I'm partial to putters, but I don't know how much fun a putter would be if I'm like just hitting thousands and millions of golf balls.
The reason we're laughing is Brendan said putter. What an idiot.
I'll come back and I will come back and one putt everything from within 25 feet, baby. That's all that matters.
Yeah, it's
that's actually what's making me second guess this, because I love putting. Like the favorite part of my game today is putting and short game chipping.
It's the best.
I love it. So much fun.
I do like it.
I think strictly speaking though, like there's probably not gonna be many greens on this island. Like well manicured greens. Like they're probably not rolling very well.
You don't.
So.
No one knows.
No, there is a greens. So I think there's a really good greenskeeper.
Oh, there is.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That's good to know.
His name is Dan. He has a very, very thick Boston accent. He's kind of scary sometimes.
He is an orangutan, but he's great at what he does.
Oh man. So to get to my answer finally, I'm bringing a 56 degree wedge. I think that's where I'm going to land.
Okay. I like it. I like it. Doing a little chipping, do a little full shots.
It's plenty of sand, so the 56.
Plenty of sand.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
You're gonna be dialed in. You're gonna aim for the sand when you get off this island, just because you're so good at it.
Yeah, no problem. Bring me to it.
No problem. All right, Jason, look into your backyard. I'm not sure if you have a backyard, but if you do, look into that backyard. I want you to think of a golf hole your favorite golf hole that you've either seen on TV or a golf hole that you've played that you want as your backyard. It comes with all the scenery, the length, everything like that. You get to play this hole over and over. What is your backyard hole?
Oh man, I got to go through the visuals here. Par threes tend to have the better views. So like, there's just a lot of par threes stuck in my head right now. I'm trying to think if there's a non-par three. I'm also going to try to think of one that like I don't play often, because like that I'm fortunate enough to play some that are like right down here in Charleston that are phenomenal views. All right, so I think the one that's sticking out to me that I keep coming back to as I'm kind of talking through this, I was fortunate to play Torrey Pines. The par three on Torrey, that you're elevated and you're shooting down, and the water and the cliffs are all to your right, and then the next tee box is coming back up the hill this way. It's that par three.
Tim, is that the third or the 12th? I forget. Or is it the fourth? I don't even know.
I know which one you're talking about, because the water is on your right. The tee box is right next to the cliffs, right? And then I think it's on the front there, Brendan, but I could be wrong. All right, I know exactly which one you're talking about. The downhill one. Mm-hmm. Yes, that is
number 3, I think.
Yep, that's what I thought. Number 3.
That's a good one.
I mean, and the California coastline, like yeah, it's so good. It's one of one. The California coastline is so unique.
You know, I was just about to say, and you get that San Diego weather, but we never established you get the weather of this hole that you choose. We never even established that.
Yeah, it's a 195-yard par 3. It's 50 yards apart. The two tees, some 50 yards apart in 2008. 2-tiered green slopes from left to right. Big bunker guards the front left of the green, with a hazard that falls off into a gorge on the left and behind the green. So don't skull it, I guess.
It's not an easy part.
Do not skull.
Yeah.
No promises. No promises. Oh, man. I think that's all we got, right, Brent?
I think that's it. So everyone on this, if you are a golf coach, please go and download Istruzi and please set up an account, try it out, tell them we sent you. You know, you could tell them that Jason sent you because you heard it directly from Jason on the podcast too. And if you are a player and your coach is on there, make sure to use it as well, because I'm telling you, this is an absolute game changer going forward. Being able to have, like I said before, the integrations into Google Calendar, having Venmo right there to be able to pay right there. And who knows if there's other options going forward with that side too. If you are an Apple product owner, you need to use this app. And that's all that matters. That is all that matters. Jason, again, man, we really, really appreciate you coming on, trying to bring the game we all love into the 21st century. So again, thank you very much for coming on, man. We really enjoyed having you.
Gents, it was a blast being here. Had a lot of fun. These always go by so fast, which means we're obviously enjoying the banter. I appreciate you all, and love what you all are doing. So thanks for having me here.